You're listening to Brain Lenses. I'm Colin Wright. Ebooks have a lot of advantages over printed books, including the fact that they cost essentially nothing to reproduce and distribute, as long as the intended recipient has a device capable of displaying them. It's also possible to render ebooks on different sorts of screens, everything from smartphones to tablets to computers to TVs, and it's increasingly feasible to use text-to-voice software that converts digital text into a rudimentary audiobook so that written works can be consumed audibly by folks with eyesight issues or by people who don't have the time or attention span to sit down and focus on sight reading for long periods of time. Ebook files and the devices most people use to read them have also evolved substantially over the past decade or so. Purpose-made ebook files, often distributed as EPUBs or PDFs, have become more sophisticated over the years, gaining more customizability, usability, and portability. And ebook readers, which usually display text in e-ink rather than using pixels, have become lighter weight, more affordable at the low end, have crisper screens with better lighting options, and in some cases can display colors and have touchscreens, allowing for note-taking, highlighting, and so on as well. Ebooks are also consumed via apps and websites, granting them even more powers, including tools that make the content more accessible and legible, and options that encourage more interactivity by the reader, animations, things to click, gamification, etc. That said, based on research from the past decade and a half, printed books continue to yield better results in terms of reader comprehension, up to 8 times better, according to a meta-analysis from 2023, possibly because there are fewer distractions inherent in printed books. No apps, no icons, no notifications, though also maybe because we tend to associate many of our devices with texting, social media, and playing games, rather than focusing on just one thing at a time. It's also been shown that the physical act of holding a book and turning pages, of indexing words and narratives and information using physical space, can help our retention, probably because of our tendency to use the world around us to store information. There's a fair bit of research that suggests readers of various ages and backgrounds also prefer printed works for whatever reason, though there's a decent chance that some of this research will fail to replicate, as again, digital books have evolved substantially, and some of that research was done back when ebooks were quite sluggish, ugly, and unintuitive, especially compared with the familiar interface of a paperback book. Ebooks and printed books both have pros and cons, and the utility of either type, and of audiobooks as well, will be based on the reader, the use case, the content they are reading and subject to their reading about, alongside considerations like access to electricity, sophistication or lack thereof of the digital work compared to the quality of the layout and manufacture of the paperback, and the relationship or lack thereof the reader has with their devices. I'm able to present Brain Lenses in both its written and audio formats ad-free because of support from listeners like you. If you're enjoying what I'm doing here, consider becoming a paid supporter for the cost of a cup of coffee each month at brainlenses.com.